Girls,
Yes, miss.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, miss.
hello girls, warm good morning. Uh, Today's our lecture embedded operating system. Right? Last lecture we have seen the kernel architecture, that is monolithic kernel architecture, microkernel architecture and modular kernel architecture and their advantage and disadvantage. Nowadays it is used only the modular kernel architecture most of the operating system, whether it is a general purpose operating system or whether it is a embedded operating system. Now today's we will start the kernel functions. Kernel has lots of functions, but we'll take the only the process function, right? Now what do you mean by the process? Process is one job, right? It performs the whether it is running or waiting or whether it is a stop process, right? So the process means it is a one task or job, right? Entire program, whatever your complete program is divided into different tasks, right? So that task is called as the one process in a technical language, right? Suppose in C programming, if we take the example of functions, right? So that function is using with n number of programs, but we write only one functions and we are calling that functions into our main program, right? So that function is one process because your whole program is divided into the separate parts, right? Whether it is a function, whether it is a process, whether it is a task, whether it is a job, whether it is a this process. So all these are the same because your whole program is divided into the pieces, right? It particular task, right? Now, exactly the difference between the procedure and the function, right? The function, it's return a value to the main program, right? But whereas procedure, it doesn't return any value to the main program from where you are calling. It procedure, it perform a task inside that process and then it's leave it there and then coming back to the main program from where you are calling. But the function is pass the parameter from functions to the main program. If you want any value from that procedure, it will pass from that function, it will pass to the main program. That is the main difference between the function and procedure. Yesterday's lab, we have seen the intercommunication between the tasks, right? Task means it is a process, right? So it is intercommunication between means one task or one function or one procedure will communicate to the another procedure in between. So that is the procedure communication, right? So now today we'll see the process descriptor. What is the exactly process descriptor in the kernel functions, right? It run state, only the run state will be there. What is the address space and the file is open or not, right? Then the process state, it is a run state name. What is the process state? Whether it is a running, whether it is waiting for interrupt or uninterruptible, and whether it is a stop, right? Now we'll understand the scenario of that. That day also we will say the user space and the kernel space, right? In user space, it is a process A, process B, process C, or n number of process. Your whole task or your whole job is divided into the different process, right? So the each and every process has their own memory, right? So that is into the user space. This is a stack, this is free memory, this is code. Your process code is stored here, your process required data that is stored here, your process heap, because heap is use the global variable. If it is a required more memory space, so it will take it from the free. And the stack is your storing your data, your addresses, your this pointer addresses, your stack addresses, everything is stored into the stack. So each and every process has their own memory space, right? So each and every process has their address space, right? That is stored into the process descriptor, that is into the kernel space, right? So this is a kernel space, means the kernel is managing all the address of your stack pointer, data, and the code, so that other user doesn't have to worried about that what is the address of this procedure. Means user doesn't have to keep in mind that what is the address of this procedure and all that. All the work is done by the process descriptor, right? So these are the best example of your process descriptor, right? So these all are the address whether the file is opening, because when it is executing in a processor, if it is a single processor, so it will execute only one process at a time, because it is not a multiple processor, right? So this kernel spaces descriptor is giving all the addresses, all the information of the running process, not a waiting or ready process, of the running process to the CPU, right? To the microcontroller, and microcontroller will communicate only this the kernel space of process descriptor, not with the user space, right? So the user will interact with this process descriptor, right? So this is the process A, process B, process C, and so on. It is carry on. And each and every process has their process descriptor. Each and every process has their process descriptor. It is keeping over there. Now, the process descriptor of the current process, right? There are the parents process, that parents has the sibling process, that sibling has the child process, because it is creating the process inside process. As we are taking of this example of C programming, if C programming is calling one function, inside that function one function we can call, inside that function we can call one function, or we can call the same function within a function, that is called as the recursive functions, right? The function is calling into that function. So we have taken this example by calculating a factorial of number, so we are calling same function within a function, that is called the recursive function. So the parents, sibling, and child function, so the each and every information of tracking of parents, then inside that the siblings, right? Then inside of that is child function. So each and every track it will stored into the process description of the current process, not to the next process, right? And also it will keep the track of the previous and the next, right? Suppose C programming is calling one function, that function is calling another function, it has to keep the track of function, so which is the previous and which is the next. So all this information is stored into the process descriptor. All these job, all this address spacing and the function of running state has the information kept into the process descriptor, right? So that is a job of the, that is a function of the process descriptor, right? Now, what are the storage of process descriptor? So process are the dynamic, because it is running. Running means it is a dynamic. It is not a static condition. It is a dynamic condition. So the descriptor are kept into the dynamic memory. It is a dynamic, because randomly it changes the address, randomly it changes the memory space, randomly it changes the status of the process, whether it is a running or whether it is a ready stage or whether it is a waiting stage. If it is a interrupt occur, then it goes to the waiting stage, right? So it is a dynamic. The process are the dynamic, so the descriptor are kept into the dynamic memory location, right? So the kernel will keep the descriptor into the dynamic memory location, and 8 kilobyte of memory area is allocated for each process, right? So it is depend upon that. If your task is small, so it may allocated the reduce, it may allocated the 2 kilobyte of memory, or it's depend upon the your task of the embedded system, because embedded system operating system is for the dedicated purpose, right? It is a dedicated purpose. More than 4 to 5 jobs is performing in that operating system, right? And that resources and that file management, memory management has to manage efficiently. Because of that, it is a embedded operating system that requires the operating system, right? So to hold the process descriptor and kernel mode the process stacks, right? What is the advantage of process descriptor pointer of current running process can be used, can be accessed quickly from the stack pointer. It doesn't have to wait. It will access quickly. It doesn't have to search okay, where is the running stage of process, right? It is quickly accessed from the stack pointer. So that is the main disadvantage of process descriptor. It is pointer of the current running. It is a running stage process, right? And can access quickly from the stack pointer, right? So now this is the address space. So 8 kilobyte of memory area is used. So 2 to the power 13 bytes. So this is a 13 bits is the address of that stack pointer, right? It is very essential to understand the mappings, memory mapping with the microcontroller. So the 13 bits is the address, and process descriptor pointer with the lower 13 bits are the mask. It is lower 13 bits are the mask because it is a 8K. If any embedded system operating system has a some bit of function, so and that operating system will store it into the 2 kilobytes of memory area, so that has an address of 2 to the power 10. So it is a 10 lower bytes will be a masked, right? So it's depend upon that what kind of examples or how or what we have to develop in that embedded system, right? So this is a address spacing, file opening, and process descriptors, the use advantage of process descriptor, right? Now the process descriptor has a structure of function. It is a structure. Everyone knows that in a C programming they have the structure. Suppose we have to develop or the mark sheet, right? Each and every student have a mark sheet, right? Mark sheet program. So now we will write one structure inside that. Inside that the structure, student name, student roll number, student year of mark sheet, what are the subjects are there. So we develop one structure, and that structure we are using for each and every student. We don't change because all the electronics girls has the same subject in that same semester. The name is changing, roll number is changing, but the subject name and all everything. But the same structure I cannot use for the pharmacy girls because their subjects are different. Whether it is a name and roll number arrays will be the same, but the subject will be the same. So the for particular same community we will develop one structure. So inside the process descriptor has the structure, the long state, the state is what is the status of the process, whether it is running, wait, or whether it is a interrupt, whether it is a dead state or whether it is a removed state. So what is the state, priority, what is the policy of that state, it is a parent's process or what, right? The stars and process ID. Each and every process has their ID means what? It is a surname, right? So my parents is that the Mangrukar, so I am a Mangrukar, my children has the Mangrukar. So that this is a unique ID, but each and every child has a different name, so we can identify that. So now this is a son of Mangrukar, this is the parents of Mangrukar, this is a child of Mangrukar, this is a sibling of Mangrukar. The same concept is used in a parent and child and sibling concept. So each and every process has their own unique ID. So it's toward the process ID. This is into the process descriptor, right? Now the process status, right? The status is 5 kind of status. The status field of process descriptor and describes the current condition of process, right? Process descriptor is describe the current condition of process, not the previous one and not the next one condition of the process, right? The current, it is a running. Current means what? It is a running state. That is only the information has a process descriptor, right? Each process on the system is exactly one of the 5 different status, right? Each system of the processes will see what are the 5 stages, right? And the value is represented by one of the 5 flag, right? Each and every 5 status has there the 5 flag. Now we'll see that. The first is at the task running, right? This is first stages. It is a running, right? It is a task means what? We have given the name of the task, right? Task running. It is either currently running or on running queue waiting to run, right? It is already running, either running or it is into the running queue. What is a running queue means what? It is rotating base of the task, right? So it is into the running queue or wait to run. This is only possible status for the process execution in user space, right? So running queue, it is into the user space, right? It can also apply the process in kernel space that is actively running, right? So running queue is in a user space and actually running, it is into the kernel space, as we have seen that, right? So this is your user space, this is your user space, right? And this is your kernel space. Here is a running queue. These are into the queue. All process A, process B, process C is in a queue. But actually running is into the running space, right? It is into the running space, right? It can also apply the process in a kernel space that is actively running, right? So this is one status. Second is interruptible status. The process is sleeping, or that is it's a block mode, right? So waiting for some condition to exit, right? It is a blocked, but it is not into the running state, not into the exit state. It is just stored into the memories. It is a block. When this condition exit, the kernel sets the process state to task the running, right? If this is unblocked, so this is interrupted, it is a running state. So this condition exists, the kernel set the process status to the start state. Agar ye uninterrupt block state is existed, so the processor kernel will set this process into the running state, right? And the process always awake permissible and become the runnable if it is a received a signal, right? If it is a interrupted is received, so if it is an interrupt is received, so that is block state of process is comes directly into the running stage. Suppose if you are taking a high fire alarm, right? Now there is a fire and the your normal process is going on, your microcontroller is performing operation is normal, but suddenly fire is gone. So what it will do? It will do the your kernel will whatever the running process, it will kept it into the this block stage or running stage, but whatever your interrupt program to give the alarm, that will come into the running stage and it will start. That is called the interrupt when the signals is arrived, right? That is a interruptible. So interruptible has a priorities, highest priority, lowest priority, middle priority. According to that, the kernel will take the decision whether this process is give the running this condition or just kept into the processing queue, right? Now the uninterruptible process, right? This is identical task to task interruptible, except it does not wake up and become runnable if it is received a signals, right? If it is uninterruptible, it has a low mass priority. When it is received a signal, still it doesn't bother, right? So it is a uninterruptible process, right? This is used in a situation where the process must wait without interruptions or when the event is expected to occur quite quickly, right? Quite quickly. It is a least priority, uninterruptible process, because this task does not respond to the signal in this state, right? If it is going on or not going on automatically. So task uninterruptible is less often used than the task interruptible. Task interruptible is more often, right? This is uninterruptible task, right? Task zombia. This task is terminated, but it is parent has not yet issued the wait for system, right? Means what? The parents is created, the child is created, parents is created, the sibling, child and all. But the child is waiting to instruction from the parents. Now the my process is not in use, let me exit. But this, the parents has yet to issue the wait for system call, right? It to issue, parents will give the order not to exit even though you don't have a work, just wait for that. So this task is called the zombia task. The task process descriptor must run in a case the parents want to access it. If the parents calls the wait, parents wants to access the process, may be access, maybe it is used for the parents, right? The process descriptor is deallocated, but still parents will keep the track with the child. So this task is called the zombia task, right? The task stop, this is the last status of your process, right? The process executions has stopped, the task is not running nor it is eligible to run, it is over, it is wiper from your memory space. It is a stop, not running and not eligible to run. So this occurs if the task received the six stop signal, six SSIGT STP signal, SIGT TN signal. All these are the functions in your RTOS library, right? So all, if it is a received, that means that processor will stop everything. It will erase the description, process descriptive structures. It will remove all the memory space, address space and everything, and it is clear the memory or the descriptive box to use for the other process, right? So SIT TOU signals, if it is received any signals while it is beginning debug, so it will stop the box. So this is the scenario of the process, right? New process is created, right? This is new process is created, it goes to the ready stage, right? After it is ready stage, it is scheduled the CPU time according to that. So now this is your CPU time, it is into the running stage. After running stage, it has a certain time, it may be a block or it may be a exit, right? So if it is a block, again it goes to the ready stage, right? If it is a timeout, it goes to the ready stage. That process has this timeout, waiting for some event, right? It is a block. So waiting for some event means uninterrupted block, interrupt kill, or it is a killable. Task is killable, right? So it is into the block. Event occur now ready to get. अगर interrupt occur हुआ है, so it goes to the ready to go, and it is running. Or when it, while it is running into the CPU, time is out, again it goes to the ready. So here it is a ready queue, it is a ready queue, it is a running queue, we can call it as this ready. It is a running queue, it is stand into the queue, and it will take as per schedule of CPU itself. And the process descriptor, it will be only for this running, not for the ready queue, right? Running queue, right? It is for the ready queue, and each and every has their own function. So this is the process stages, right? This is new process, it is create the ready stage, it is a running queue, it is running. If it is a time bound, again it will be into the queue. If it is a waiting for some event, it is uninterrupted, interrupted and killable. If the event is occur, it will stand into the running queue, right? If the process is exit, so it is exit, it is dead, and Zombia. It will wait. Zombia means what? It will wait for the parents to kill me, to disable me, to wind up me, right? So there are two stages into the exit, either the dead and Zombia, right? So thank you, girls. If you have any query, please ask me. Your doubt can be cleared over here.